WIXQ is owned by Millersville University and operated by the students as an extracurricular activity. The opinions expressed on air are those of the DJs and do not reflect the views of WIXQ or its staff. Seize the airways with WIXQ, 91.7 FM, The Ville. Radical, renowned, real college radio. And we are back here on the air here in WIXQ 91.7 FM. You are listening to What is Savage. And actually, we're going to jump right into our next segment, what's going on in sports. We have a lot here. I have a lot listed out, so you are more than welcome to jump in at any time to... Where are you going? Okay. To pertain to any of them. So what we have listed here is we have the AAF, we have what's going on in the NFL. We also have the MLB, also have the NBA with you, and going on, I'll actually jump into it for the first thing because it's all I wanted to bring up, just to bring it up, not to actually talk more into it. And we also have the Elimination Chamber this Sunday as well. So,
ooh, I forgot about that.
I have all the matches listed, so don't you worry. So, as of now. So what we have, first off, is it has been a busy week, and we have a busy week coming up. So, first off, don't give me any of your grunt size or anything over there because I will give you 5 strikes if you test me.
For what?
The Daytona 500 is this Sunday. Oh. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay.
Cars.
All right. I was waiting for you to go. Daytona 500 is going on this Sunday. William Byron of the number 24, taking over from Jeff Gordon, taking over actually from Chase Elliott, who took over from Jeff Gordon, will be starting on the pole. Jimmy Johnson winning the practice race happening a couple days ago after he caused a wreck and made almost the whole field crash, and that was the only reason he won. So Daytona 500 is this Sunday.
That's the way to do it, man.
So I will actually, depending on time, because this Thursday is Valentine's Day, but instead I will be doing Valentine's Day on Sunday because life is busy. So I made time to make sure I could go Sunday. So I'm doing all my schoolwork and anything else that is happening in life before Sunday. So that Sunday I can go because we are actually, me and Brittany are going to the movies to go see one of the movies that are in our Friday Night Spotlights. Spoiler alert. And also, are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we're also going out for dinner because we have gift cards to Olive Garden. Mm-hmm. So why not use them? Because breadsticks and pasta. So there we go. So yeah, Valentine's Day is happening for me this Sunday, but depending on what time we go, we'll figure that out. I actually need to ask her about that. Maybe I'll get a chance to catch a little bit of the Daytona 500 because I actually do watch that. I watch NASCAR when it's on, if I have time.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
God, go ahead.
What's your favorite Olive Garden dish?
Great sports talks, boys.
I don't necessarily have one. I generally always get a pasta, and I always try to get something that is spicy and that's going to give me a heart attack.
I recommend fettuccine alfredo. It's not spicy, but I like it because it's fattening, and that's all I need to be happy.
Okay. Well, I'm going to instead look for something that has to go with seafood. And
wait a minute, stop. You hate seafood. No, don't give me that.
What are you talking about? I like seafood.
You said you hate seafood.
What?
You always told me every time, you're like, oh, I don't like seafood. That's disgusting. Unless I'm thinking about somebody else.
You're thinking of someone else. So guess what? That's a strike.
No, you always told me I don't like seafood.
You just said maybe I'm thinking of someone else. That's a strike for arguing. You know what? That's 2 strikes for trying to argue back. Mm-hmm. So
4.5.
Anyone that knows me knows I like seafood.
Don't you always get like catfish? Yeah.
So yeah, anyone that knows me knows I get seafood if I can. Any chance I go out, if it's not a questionable place.
Oh, yeah, I'm probably thinking about somebody else. I
don't know
then.
Who, but good job. Strike. You're on 4 already. You actually, you know what? You're on 4.5.
Yeah.
So, okay. Where were we going? Okay, yes, Daytona 500 Sunday. I will have a chance to watch it, possibly, maybe like 10 minutes. That's fine with me. Also, we have. Let me move this mic so I can get a little closer. Chris, you're also more than welcome to jump in anytime you want. Just start talking because your mic is on. So you're more than welcome to. We'll get this out of the way. We have the Elimination Chamber going on this Sunday. In what city are we in? I really don't know.
I don't know.
Houston. It's at the Toyota Center.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's at the Houston Rockets Stadium. So it'll be happening this Sunday, February 17th, at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. We have some matches listed on here. I'm going to go through them, read them. We don't necessarily have to do predictions because I personally don't want to, because I don't want you to steal my ideas
Oh yeah.
for when I send my.
Who's
Predictions.
did you look at the standings? I don't think I need to steal here.
So what we have here is we have Baron Corbin versus Braun Strowman. All right.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't know if his elbow fully healed.
Who, Strowman?
Yes.
Yeah, he's fine.
Okay. So that will be taking place. We also have the Cruiserweight Championship between Buddy Murphy and I'm going to really try. Don't even try to let me try to say this because I don't watch the Cruiserweights too much.
Right.
Besides whenever I'm watching it with you. Okay. Akira Tozawa.
You got that's right.
Wow. All right. So we're going to have Buddy Murphy and Akira Tozawa. Not that I don't think they're interesting, but I don't watch 205 Live because I can't watch 205 Live.
So I think Tozawa has been champ before.
I think once.
Yeah. So I don't know.
He won it on Raw like a year ago.
He was really good in like the Cruiserweight Classic, like the last one. But I don't know.
But I mean, I don't watch 205 Live. I would if I could. I don't have the network because I'm cheap. So
$9.99 too much.
we also have the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. We will have the Usos taking on Miz and Mac. I'm liking that name.
Dude,
I really like that name, and I really would like to get one of those baseball tees, Miz and Mac.
Yeah.
So, Shane McMahon, The Miz, defending their titles this Sunday. I hope they don't lose them. Also have the Intercontinental Championship Handicap match. We have Bobby Lashley and Leo Rush taking on Finn Balor.
Because why not?
Why not?
Yeah, right.
Also have the Raw Women's Championship. Ronda Rousey, that's right, the UFC's Ronda Rousey. For some that don't know, Ronda Rousey is in WWE. So, insider, you know who that's pertaining to.
Yeah,
will
I
be
got you.
defending her title against Ruby Riott.
She's on the screen right there.
Also have 2 Elimination Chamber matches taking place this Sunday as well. We have the Elimination Chamber match for the new inaugural WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. I like this. I like that the women's division has tag team championships. I, however, am not a fan of the fact. I understand the logistics of it. It's just me personally. I don't like the sharing of titles. That is me.
Oh, okay.
I don't like titles swapping back and forth between shows. Because the whole point, I am one of those guys that is very, very anal about it. The whole point of a brand split is to have separate shows, to have separate characters, to have separate titles, not to share them. That's like back in the day when they did the original I'm trying to talk too fast. When they had the original brand split and they had the undisputed WWF title, and whoever was undisputed champion went to both shows, defended the title both shows, and basically every other month it was back and forth between defending the title against the top Raw guy, the top SmackDown guy. So every other pay-per-view was the title defense against that person. I'm not a fan of that because it takes it away from the credibility of the brand split. So that's why I like having the double, world champions. I understand people don't like having 2 world champions because it's a world championship, like you're the top guy. But that's me.
So, kind of in the scenario we're in right now, there isn't a brand split currently.
Whoa.
Because when the McMahons came back, they kind of unified at the moment.
No.
Because yes,
They unified the power.
Right.
They got rid of general managers because
so,
of ratings.
well, but that's why you see SmackDown people show up on Raw all the
Whoa,
time.
whoa, whoa.
You see-
I have never seen this. This is coming from someone who doesn't even watch them in the first place. So please tell me how you have seen Raw people going to SmackDown, SmackDown people going to Raw without even watching, because I at least take some time to watch it
Yeah.
right before I go to bed. I actually
Alright.
do, because it comes on
Because-
8 o'clock, and that's right around my bedtime.
You
so
see it more on Raw than you see it on SmackDown. But I mean, the biggest.
that's only
the
this
biggest-
past 2 weeks, and that's only because of the Royal Rumble.
No, you've seen it before that too.
When?
Okay, before the
That's a
Royal-
strike.
No, before the. All right,
Good
fine.
job. You got a strike.
Before the Royal Rumble, Like when you would see, Becky Lynch did show. I know that was the Survivor Series build-up stuff as well, but
That stuff doesn't count.
yeah, no, right. But you have seen them show up every now and again, and if there's, you do.
When?
I don't remember. 'Cause
Maybe
it
in
was
like
so long.
2011.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking.
The
of.
Super Show that they had
Yeah,
when they
but
combined
no,
them.
the reason that because it was Fox. This is what I'm talking about. Fox wants them to be completely split. Right?
Yeah, I like that.
I do too. However, because being on USA, they're not 100% split at the moment. I mean, you don't really see it like that often, but you will see people show up from SmackDown on Raw.
I noticed you're trying to redeem yourself,
I
but
am.
also trying to keep your point at the same time.
I am.
So that's a second strike.
What is it?
You have 2 strikes so far.
Where,
So
are we
far,
gonna
look,
talk
this is
about your
here we
strike?
are in the strike standings.
Yeah.
So Frank has 4.5. You have 2.
Yeah.
I have a quarter,
1 1/4, because I heard that.
and Chris has 0. So there we go. So
It's easy to get 0 when you didn't. Never mind.
you may have won the weekend, but he's winning the strike battle.
Yeah.
So
I'm a good boy.
see, there we go.
It's all good.
Yeah. So there is a brand split in
I
case
know
you didn't
there
know.
is, but because of the unified power, you'll see, they can just pull people over whenever.
They're only doing that for the titles.
I know they are.
Plus, we have the international, which I also have a problem with.
Oh,
They're
no.
calling it the international brand split, and I noticed they're only calling it that because it's taking place in Canada. That is the only reason. Like, I thought this was like a real legit, like, international superstar thing that they were doing, that I have no idea who anybody is, but all it is, it's taking place in Canada, so they're calling it international for some reason. So
You
they
know
could have just
some of
called
the
it.
UK guys there?
They
Is
could have
that
just.
why?
I think that's also the reason they're trying to like.
Yeah, there's that UK
There might be that,
NXT stuff.
but yeah,
Mr. NXT not watcher.
I can't. I don't have the network. Look, if I had the network,
Yeah.
if I had the spare $9.99, or if someone, because I know WWE's been cracking down on this, you can't share networks anymore.
Well, yeah.
Because
You
for the
can't do all
longest time,
different
I
things.
shared someone's network until they changed the rules. I shared someone's network without them knowing I was sharing their network. But until they changed the rules, I got kicked off the network. So then I eventually paid for it, but then I was running into a hole where it was not worth it. But if I had it, I'd watch it. I'd watch.
Would you?
I would watch NXT, so I can
Would
actually
you?
keep up with that
so
stuff.
you know who the people are when like you're at
when
the Royal
yeah,
Rumble
when they
and
show up at the Royal Rumble, and I'm like, who is this?
Who's
then I at
Johnny
least know
Gargano?
who it is. So halftime heat.
Who's Aleister
So
Black?
I know who these people are.
Yeah, because of halftime heat now in the Rumble.
Yep. So, yeah. So back to what I was trying to get at. My first point. I don't like the shared women's tag team titles, but I understand there's not enough women.
Yeah, but there's enough women to have tag team belts. So
Yes,
it's kinda
but it
like-
doesn't make sense to just throw teams together like Naomi and Carmella.
Yeah, they both dance.
So that is me. And also the last Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship, which I'm also surprised they don't have an Elimination Chamber match for the number 1 contender for the Universal title.
about to say, for the
Maybe they're trying to
Universal
figure that out. So maybe.
Well, because on the Rumble.
Wow, you know what? That's a strike for me.
Yeah, I was like, can I give you a strike for that one?
Because typically you always see like, you know what? I blame this on Brock. You want to know why? Because typically what they would do is when they have the double champions, whoever won the Rumble, correct? They would have the champion that's being challenged defend their title in the Elimination Chamber. That's what they've been doing the past couple years.
'Cause-
But of course, Brock is not going to be there.
Didn't the WWE Championship get defended last year because
They typically do that anyway because what they
Shinsuke went after?
That's what I'm saying. Typically, what they do is they have, back in the days, they would have like 4 Elimination Chamber matches going on. They would have the world titles.
Yes.
They would have the number 1 contenders. Unless they had the Rumble thing figured out, then they would only have maybe about 3. They would have the world titles and the Elimination Chamber for the number 1 contender for whatever didn't win the Rumble. So, you know what? I'm giving myself a half a strike because
Half?
Brock.
Half? No.
All right, fine. 3/4. So now I'm up to 2 strikes. So I blame. You know what? I'm giving Brock Lesnar a strike.
Yeah, give Brock
so,
for not defending his title.
Yep, there we are. So that's where we are in the standings. Frank has 4.5. You have 2. I have 2. Brock has 1. and Chris has none. So Chris is beating Brock right now.
Lesnar. Yeah,
So
there you go.
there we go. Good job.
At least somebody can.
Thank you.
Yeah, taking down Brock Lesnar. That's right. So that's where we are.
But hey, at least I'm winning with strikes. Yeah.
That is not a good thing.
To me, that's
So
great.
that's where
At
we
least
are
I'm
with
winning
the.
with something.
That's where we are with the chamber. Possibly more matches coming in. I noticed we're getting close to commercials because sports. But you know what? We're going to do commercials quick. We're going to come back and finish this segment out because what I have here, I don't have too much to talk about. Just things to talk about. However, we can banter off on the AAF when we get to it. But the other things, I just wanted to bring it to light. So we're going to do the commercials quick, and we'll be right back here on WIXQ 91.7 FM. You were listening to What a Savage. We are back here on the air here in WIXQ 91.7 FM. You are listening to What a Savage. So quickly, I'm going to go through these things, and then we'll get to whatever you want to talk about. So as an update, what we have going on here is the MLB. We're getting closer to spring training. We're about, 9 days away. 9 days away to the first spring training game between the Mariners and the Athletics. But we have some high quality. Free agents still on the market. Bryce Harper, Manny Machado, and it's being narrowed down to a couple teams for both of them to be an eventual signee of a team. So here we are. Manny Machado. We have him narrowed down to 3 teams because people are going to pay Manny Machado big money to be a utility third baseman and shortstop. So these 3 teams that I have for Manny Machado are the New York Yankees, the Philadelphia Phillies, and the Chicago White Sox. And I'll tell you what, my favorite to pull this out is honestly the Philadelphia Phillies. I think the Phillies are going to find a way to get Manny Machado on that team. However, I would not be surprised if the White Sox pull this off because the White Sox have a lot of, young talent. They have a farm system, which a lot of teams don't necessarily have a farm system. For example, the Pirates have a farm system. Their major league team, garbage. But their farm system, outstanding. But they never utilize it correctly. The Padres, great farm system. Again, their MLB major league team, not the best. However, they still find a way to be better than the Pirates. So, that's what I'm thinking. Phillies, Machado, possibly White Sox, because they have the money. Now, the big one of them all, Bryce Harper, the cover of MLB 19, the show that on the cover does not have a team because he's in a white sweatshirt. I like that. So, there are 2 teams that are being narrowed down to Bryce Harper because originally Bryce Harper was being linked to the Yankees, he's being linked to the Phillies, somehow he's being linked to the White Sox, the Giants somehow got in there, the Padres got in there, the Nationals somehow were still in there, but now it's being narrowed down to 2 teams. Those 2 teams, the Philadelphia Phillies and the San Francisco Giants. So, I don't know. And a dark horse is actually San Diego. The Padres are still trying to make a push for him. I think the Padres could be a good team if they get the pieces all put together. But at the end of the day, I have San Diego put down as a dark horse. I have the Phillies, again, winning the free agency battle and getting Bryce Harper. I really think, which I'm really surprised with, that the Phillies are, then again, it's not the Pirates. The Phillies have money, and the Phillies are willing to spend money. Complete opposite of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has no money, and Pittsburgh does not want to spend money. So that's why Andrew McCutchen is on the Phillies. So, yeah. Because they don't want to spend money. But they're trying to get ownership out of Pittsburgh. There was a time where Mark Cuban was almost the owner of the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm trying to make a push to be the owner of the Pittsburgh Pirates. So, you know what? Let's put all of our money together and we'll own the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I don't want that franchise.
I will buy your share out once I get the money.
All right, cool.
So, there we are. Yes, back to it. I think Bryce Harper is going to sign with the Phillies. I also think Manny Machado is going to sign with the Phillies. But I would not be surprised if Manny Machado signs with the White Sox. Now, with the thing with Bryce Harper is the Giants, with them being the top 2 spots, Bryce Harper does not want a short-term contract. He wants big money and a long-term deal. the Giants don't want to do a long-term deal. They want to do a short-term deal. And they're also in a rebuilding phase. So that's why I think Bryce Harper to the Phillies, which then helps Manny Machado. I don't, however, think he's going to get anywhere close to the $300 million he's asked for. I'm thinking 280, 285, somewhere around there.
All right, so the White Sox keep coming into the picture because they had money as well. I'm pretty sure that they had a lot of money to throw around, so that's why they kept throwing them out there. And if who was it? Was you said the Giants don't want to put a long-term deal?
They don't want to do a long-term deal.
Well, I believe if I'm correct, I mean I could be wrong. I believe Harper's 26 and Machado's 25. They're in prime.
Yep.
So you could honestly sign Bryce Harper to a 10-year deal.
Yep.
And be okay with that.
Yep. That's what happened to Robinson Cano with the Mariners.
I'll say the Giants should sign him to a long-term deal because you can build around Bryce Harper. But hey, it's fine.
That's me. That's all I had for baseball. Just wanted to make that a quick update on that because spring training does begin in about 9 days. So who knows? Maybe they'll sign in the next 9 days. Maybe they'll sign closer to the start of opening day. And you know what? This may come to a surprise to some people. But because I'm a big NFL guy. I'm also a big baseball guy. Believe it or not. Me personally. I like the NBA. I like watching the NBA. But I'm more of a casual NBA type of fan. I'm not a diehard we got some people that we know they're diehard Sixer fans. That's not me. I could care less about the Sixers. I can care less about any of the Philadelphia sports. I'm not trying to bash on them. I will not conform. So
conform to what?
The Philadelphia fandom. So
what?
That's why I'm a casual fan of the NBA. If I'm going to pick a team, picking the Wizards. So Washington Wizards.
Go with the police like the
John Wall,
Bucks
baby.
Or something.
So yeah,
John Wall.
I believe in the Wizards. And you know what? There's a knowledge to it. There's a logic to it as well. So you got to think of it like this. You got to think about what's too far, what's too close. Okay? I don't want to be a part of the Phillies, the Philly Nation. I'm not trying to make it like the Phillies.
I hate the Phillies.
I don't want to be a part of the Philly Nation.
Right.
Okay? I don't, hate the Sixers. I don't want to be a part of it. So I don't want to be in the process.
You don't want to be in the process?
I don't want to be in the process.
Trust the process.
So,
what do you mean?
Then you got to think of it like this. Okay? Growing up, I was a big Shaquille O'Neal fan. Okay? NBA Live, I would play that Shaquille O'Neal. When I would start playing NBA Live, he was on the Heat. Okay? With Dwayne Wade.
Oh, man.
So I was a big Shaq fan. So then right there, I would conform into a Miami Heat fan, casual fan. Okay? Then Shaquille O'Neal got old. I would wear Shaqs. I'd feel so cool with my Shaqs on. And Shaq went on to go once a year to every other team in the league. So I would follow Dwayne Wade. And then LeBron came, messed everything up. So it was hard to be a casual Heat fan because that's when everyone else wanted to jump on the bandwagon. So then, I would cheer on the Heat when they were on their LeBron run. So, because I was still a casual fan before LeBron. So then when LeBron jumped off, went back to Cleveland, then that's where all the fans went. But at the same time, I still followed the Heat. But then it got me thinking, Miami is so far away. Am I ever going to go see the Heat play? Will I ever go to Miami to go see the Heat play?
Wizards play?
I'm so much closer to Washington than I am to Miami. But that's what I'm saying. I would go down to D.C. to go watch them.
But if you're a casual fan, why would you ever go to a game in the first place?
Well, if I get more into it.
Right,
if there's always that chance, because I don't have cable, but I have PlayStation View. But they have NBC Sports Washington. So, for example, they have NBC Sports Philadelphia, NBC Sports Washington. So if I really wanted to, I could
be a Caps fan.
I could be. They have the Caps games on there. They have the Flyers games on there. They have Phillies games on there. Whatever's going on, the Nationals. But because Pittsburgh doesn't have a basketball team, I'll tell you what, Pittsburgh had a basketball team, diehard fan. I would be there day one. So I would be there for them.
Buy a 2K game.
Until then, Washington. But I'm at the point where I'm a casual fan. I understand their history, I understand the background, where they came from. So I'm trying to build myself into a fandom of the Wizards, but it's like a process. It's not going to be overnight.
Are you trusting it, though?
So I am trusting it. So this is where it tests me because John Wall is out for the next year.
Yeah.
So it all relies on Bradley Beal. Dwight Howard, if he gets over his butt cramps or whatever happened to him.
Being terrible at basketball now?
He had an anal tear, so he had to get surgery on that.
Yeah, okay. It's fine.
So there we are. I have no idea where I was going with that with basketball. All right, so you wanted to bring up the free agency talks. Go ahead, get into it, because it linked into, I just remembered, it linked into baseball, and here we are. So go ahead, because I do have some NFL and AAF stuff I wanted to do, but we can do football right after you do your free agency building.
All right, trade deadline. Cool. Big name, Anthony Davis. Didn't go anywhere. Really smart. Can get more in the summertime. Cool. All right, nothing to talk about there. However, speaking of Philly teams, the Sixers unloaded Markelle Fultz, who has turned out to be and talked about being one of the bigger busts in the NBA draft. Didn't give him enough time to develop, like whatever, that's fine. He went to the Orlando Magic. They got Jonathan Simmons back for him. So now the Sixers have 2 Simmons on their team, so that's fun. The other big name was Kristaps Porzingis, went to the Dallas Mavericks.
Just the way you've said that, I know you're more of a casual fan than I am. Because I even know Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm a fan of the NBA. I just didn't have, like, a diehard team. But, like...
How does that make me a casual fan?
I could tell you didn't know the name.
Oh, yeah, I can't really say his name that well.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to mess it up. Either way, he went to the Mavericks. There you go, Will Kane. However, the other big one was Tobias Harris to the Sixers. Now, that's huge for the Sixers because now, besides J.J. Redick, they have a sharpshooter. Tobias Harris has a 60% shooting average from mid to short range, and I believe a 40-something on 3 points. So now you have J.J. Redick, Tobias Harris, Jimmy Butler, Joel Embiid, and Ben Simmons. That is your starting 5, and that is dangerous. However, the Bucks are still probably a little more dangerous, but we'll say that for another time. This is just talking about the trade deadline. So those were the big moves. There's a bunch of small moves where they moved like different people to different places, like little role players, like 6-mans and stuff, but nobody really cares about them, and I'm trying to cut this short. So there you go.
That's all right. It's all right. Don't worry about it. Is that all you got on basketball?
Yeah, because those are the biggest names.
Answer me this, because this is not a serious show. So, this is a casual show. Are you a casual NBA fan, or like, are you a fan of the NBA?
Okay.
Where's your standing on that? Like me, I'm a big fan of the NBA. Like, I know all the players. I follow them. I follow like every team, just like I follow every team in the NFL. Diehard NFL fan. So you can classify me as an NBA diehard fan. But like, I know everything about it.
All right.
But like, I wasn't a fan of an actual team, so I'm casually trying to get into Wizards a little more. But where are you?
Okay. Same concept with the NBA, following the players, like, LeBron and Lakers, blah, blah, blah. I follow all, like, what happens with them. But I have a team. I like the Sixers. So, I guess I'm a little bit above that. Like, so I don't watch every Sixers game, but I will watch towards the end of the season. It's the same with me in the NHL. I love the NHL. Follow the NHL, all this stuff. My second favorite sport. However, I don't sit there and watch every Caps game, except towards the end of the season when the playoff push happens, but I will try to watch every playoff game, same with the Sixers. So it's the same thing.
See, like for me, it's a little different because, not that I'm questioning your fandom.
Oh, yeah?
But like, because Pittsburgh sports is not a big market thing to put on TV around here, I can't sit down and watch like the Pirates, or I can't sit down and watch the Penguins. Because Comcast, for example, they have AT&T Sports, Pittsburgh. That's a channel devoted to the Pirates and the Penguins. PlayStation Vue doesn't have that. No.
They don't have Root anymore?
No. They changed it. Root changed to AT&T Sports.
Okay. Then that's what I was.
So, I can't watch that. However, if I could, like if I had the option, I would sit there and watch every single Pirates game. 7 o'clock every night. I'd sit down and watch them. Something to do. So, because, again, big into baseball, but I can't sit down and watch the Pirates. There's no way. Same thing with the Penguins. Like, I can't sit down and watch the Penguins because I don't have an option to. But like, if I had the chance to, I'd sit down and watch them.
Oh yeah, with the Cavs, same thing for that at least. Sixers not necessarily. With mine, I work night shifts.
Oh yeah, I know.
So I can't. I can watch the end. So what I do is I watch all the highlights.
Yeah, I mean, I'll watch all the highlights, but I mean, like, for example, like, because I can like stream stuff on my phone. For example, like if I had the option to stream games on my phone, no doubt about it. Like whatever I'm doing in life, I'd have my phone with me so I can watch the game, but also be a part of like what's ever going on in life. So it's not like, hey, you want to go out and like go-karting? Yeah, sure, why not? I still stream the game on my phone. So
don't text and drive, Tiger.
So I'm not texting, I'm watching and driving.
Oh yeah,
so could do that.
Both eyes on the road.
Yeah, that's where I am. Like if I could watch them, I would, but I can't.
I would with NHL, to answer your question on that one. NBA, early season, no. Just because most of the time they're still figuring their stuff out. And it's kind of not as fun to watch a team that's like, especially if there's new players to it, like from the summer league and stuff. So I would watch more mid-season to end season for the NBA at least.
See, for me with the NBA, like if there's games on and I absolutely have nothing to do, like getting ready for bed and all that, like I'll watch games. And however, like I'm more of a person where it's the start of the game, so back and forth, going a little slow.
You gotta watch like.
However, like,
the fourth quarter.
well, I'll actually start watching after the first quarter,
Yeah.
like when second quarter is starting to build up a little more. Then I'd actually sit down and watch it. But like, games start tipping off, like I could, like I said, I could like just watch it later because there it is, casual fan kind of jumping in.
Right.
But if I was there live, that's a different story. That's a different
are
story.
Phenomenal live. Just to point out, I went to a Sixers game like 2 years ago, last year.
So yeah, like
2 years ago.
I would go all the way down to DC to go see the Wizards play. But there we are. So again, real quick, sports, football, NFL, Antonio Brown requesting a trade from Pittsburgh. I have him potentially going to the 49ers just like everyone else in the world. However, there are other teams also in the mix to try to get Antonio Brown, including the Jaguars, including the
Jets.
The Jets.
I think they have the best trade potential for that. They can unload Robbie Anderson, which would be like receiver for receiver. I know player for player doesn't happen that often, but you do Antonio Brown, Robbie Anderson, and like a second and third round pick, something like that. And they have the cap for it. That's the big thing.
Well, here's the thing with that. The Steelers are expecting to get a first round.
Well, right, okay, but you know what I mean.
The rest of the league is expecting to only give a second or third round. So there's a bit of mixture going on there. So I'm guessing if players jump in, then you can aim a little more towards second, third. Pittsburgh is devoted on getting the first round. That's all I really had to say about that, because the request was really just put on today, so you can't really narrow down the teams right away.
Right. It's just the Jets have the cap space to take him on top of, especially if they work out a deal like, okay, you pay our $21 million hit, they have the cap to do that.
The biggest problem is I have a Antonio Brown jersey, and now he's not going to play for the team anymore.
Oh, no.
So that's my problem.
Unfortunate.
But
you should have got Le'Veon. Oh.
Go Browns.
Browns,
Baker Mayfield.
But speaking of that, with the Jets also have a really good chance to get Le'Veon Bell, so you can put those two together again. And that was just why. But anyway.
True. All right. That's all I had. Kareem Hunt to the Browns.
Oh, yeah. They don't lose anything if he gets suspended for a year, and if he only is suspended for the 6 games like he's supposed to.
Only signed a 1-year contract.
There's
for $1 million. So it's just $1 million. So, yeah, AF, what do you got? All right, this is what I'm thinking, because we can make this short and sweet. So, because I am realizing we have to do commercials again soon. I'm sorry, Frank. I know you don't like listening to us talk about sports. Am I right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so look, after the sports, we have the movies and top 5. So these are all you. I'm telling you. All right? Okay. So don't feel left out. Chris, same to you.
Free speech.
Movies and top 5. And your free speech. You still have free speech to do.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry if you feel left out in the last 20 minutes.
Why do I feel left out?
Because sports. The last 20 minutes.
It gives me a chance to shut up and let you guys talk.
To watch your...
I like it.
To watch your casino videos?
Oh, no, I wasn't watching it right now. I was watching.
Okay.
I was looking at stuff online.
Okay. Well, all right, real quick. AF, I'm a fan. I noticed, but that's just me, there was a very small attendance showing in the actual stadiums.
This is basketball season. That's why.
Yeah, I understand that. Also, I understand that the markets that they're in, smaller markets. However, I did like people actually showed up for this. And you got some NFL players, NFL coaches. So I am a fan of the AAF. Yes.
Okay, I don't think it's an official rule, but it's an unofficial underlining rule that the CEO of the AAF mentioned. You had to have had professional coaching experience in football in order to become a coach over there. So that's why everybody has been either a OC or a DC.
Like I've seen Mike Singletary
Mike
on
Singletary.
the sidelines as an example.
He's on Memphis.
Yes. So again, the teams that are in there, I'm trying to think of in the top of my head. So please help me if I don't have them all, because there's 8 teams. I understand they're all kind of basically out of the area except for Orlando, Memphis. I'm trying to think of the ones that are in the East Coast because they're all on the West Coast basically. So Atlanta. I thought I was gonna say Atlanta, but I didn't want to say Atlanta.
Their offensive coordinator.
That's right. There. So we got Atlanta, Orlando, Memphis. We also have San Diego. We also have Birmingham, Alabama. We have 3 more left. Salt Lake City.
Yes.
Wow, I can't believe I got that. And 2 more, Arizona. And
Texas, come on.
Jeez, Texas. Wow, that really threw me off.
Oh no.
San Antonio.
Yeah.
I wanted to say Dallas for some reason, but I knew that was not right.
That's probably Will Cage's team right there.
There we go. I'm gonna try to do this real quick again. So we got San Antonio, we got San Diego, Salt Lake City. Also have I'm forgetting already one on the West Coast. What is the one on the West Coast I'm forgetting? Salt Lake City, San Diego, San Antonio, Arizona. That's the one I forgot. Then we got Memphis, Birmingham, Orlando, and Atlanta. So none of those teams are in our area. However, I'm going to pick a team, an AAF. I'm going to be a big fan of the AAF, casual fan. So Memphis. Only because Christian Hackenberg. That is my only reason. Because I really want to see Memphis succeed with Christian Hackenberg.
I will go with... Alright, I'll go with Orlando. There was one I wanted to point out, but I'm not going to say it. So I like Orlando because I did like... that game that they had was really fun to watch. And Jalen Marshall, the wide receiver, really good.
So, I don't know. It's too early to kind of say too much about the AAF because it was only week 1. So it's a 10-week thing, no bye weeks. There's only 8 teams, so they all play each other. Twice, 3 times, close.
3, yeah.
Yeah. So
you probably have the West Coast teams play each other 3 times, and then the East Coast will play each other 3 times.
So it's too early to say. We have to wait until about week 4, week 5 to actually give a little more about it because they had high ratings on TV. However, it was first week.
So
the XFL in 2001 had a good chunk of viewers, but it was week 1. It was something new. So I'm a fan of it. The rule change is a little different. The pace and the style of the game is a little different. This is a chance for ex-NFL players and prospects that have not been able to get to the NFL to kind of make a name for themselves to potentially get to an NFL squad in the future. So I'm a fan of it. That's all I really have to say about the AAF. You?
I mean, it's unique. I like the pacing. I do like how they got rid of what they consider to be the most dangerous part, which there's no kickoff. You just have the ball in the 25, kind of like college or like your 25, not the. I just, whatever, you know what I mean? Like as if it was a touchback. So they just do that. There's no point after attempt. It's always there's no kick. It's always a 2-point conversion. I believe it's always 2 points. Yeah. If you're going to do an onside kick, it's a 4th and 12, and then you just have to convert it. And I do like the fact that there's only 5-man blitzing. Like you can't blitz more than 5 people, so you can't blitz an entire team. So it makes it a little more safer for the quarterback, which is why they allow bigger hits. Like what was his name? Sean Washington's hit on that quarterback. Other than that, I do like how Nick Folk can kick again. That's pretty fun. He plays for Arizona. Other than that, pretty much good to go because we mentioned all the other big names except maybe Gavin Escobar.
That's all I got.
Is in San Diego. He's not even in Texas.
And you know what? Time for us to do our 40-minute commercial spot. However, before we get off of sports, just had an update. Mustafa Ali will not be in the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber match. Instead, a member of the New Day will replace him.
Just any New Day member.
It does not say which one it'll be.
Oh, man.
So my guess is
Kofi.
I really want to see Xavier.
Okay.
Or Big E.
Well, Big E would make more sense. Kofi kind of would just be fun.
Yeah. So that's where we are. Kofi dive off the chamber. So time for a 40-minute commercial spots, and we will be back to do a little more music because we're going to jump in to what's going on at the movies, starting Frank. Stay here with us here on WXQ 91.7 FM. You are listening to What is Savage.